Oh, okay. Hi everyone, Zero here. It's kind of a random omake thing. Um, I want to do one of those videos where people talk about a subject and just do stuff. Usually it's those ladies who are telling the story and they're doing makeup on, but I don't wear makeup and I don't get on camera, so I can't really do it. So I figure I would do, maybe a little bit of tailoring while explaining why I made this video. So yeah, I really wanted to talk about Bayonetta 3 since Bayonetta 3 came out. I did make a couple videos, and then when I put it up, Nintendo like took it down real quick. It didn't even get a chance to know. It's like it's on, and then it's like it's off. So I had to wait a little while. So what I'm saying about this video is I want to explain Bayonetta 3 to people, and I want to explain what I think happened behind the scenes that led to a number of situations going down. Obviously, it's got spoilers in it, so if you ain't played the game and you want to play the game, it's probably not a thing you should watch. Meanwhile, I'm going to be trying to do something silly because I can't do anything serious ever, and that is I'm going to try to put Bayonetta's costume on this Animal Crossing rabbit because why not? It's funny. Okay. Now I don't really expect anybody to watch this because I'm here to listen. Thank you, cool guy. I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna listen to it because it's not like any kind of real educational thing. It's just me being silly and me wanting to talk about something that's been on my mind for about a month or so now. So yeah, with that said, I'm just gonna start and let's get it going. So Bayonetta 3 came out like about 2 months ago, Halloween. So everybody was super excited about it. And then we got the drama that happened with the voice actress who said she was being offered a small amount of money in order to voice act the job. And she called for us to boycott the game. And everybody did so. And they were digging in deep. Like, really digging in deep. Like, we're not going to buy it. We're not going to support this game. I was like, yeah, I stand with Helena. I ain't buying this game. I'm gonna once that XCI comes out, I'm gonna get that. And that's how some of us are. You were team Bayonetta, you were team developer. The voice actress for Bayonetta in this one was like she didn't know about any of the situation, but she can't talk about it because of the NDA. What's his face? The director. He was like blocking people left and right and got banned off Twitter for like a hot second and then came back. And then as they did more stories in there, they said that it was revealed that they actually offered her more money than she said, and she said that wasn't enough. And then she came out with this, so people were like she lied, so don't support her, F her. Then she started saying some more stuff, crazy things, and I was like, whoa, I don't think Bayonetta would say that. And that was my fault because I had that problem of separating the artist from the person, and it was just like, ugh. So then the game finally came out, and not a lot of people were happy. People were like, oh, it's okay. It's not the greatest Bayonetta we ever played. But it's fine. They didn't like the ending, and a lot of people didn't like the story. And then there were like explanations, and then there's this guy on here who like went on about him trying to explain it. And if you know me, I'm obsessed with Bayonetta. I loved it since the first game came out. I'm totally obsessed with it. I love it. I did a couple of videos on how to extract the animations from it, how to extract the models from it. My cat name is Bayonetta. I got Scarborough Fair keychains and the pops and Cheshire. I love Bayonetta, to say the least. So I studied a lot about the game and its lore. So it's my jam. So when I played, and I use the word play loosely, when I watched the 3 hour thing of Bayonetta, the game just suddenly made sense. Like the whole situation that was going down with the voice actor, the developer, Everything made sense, and then when it was over, I just cried because it was sad and beautiful at the same time. And I just hated it that people didn't get it. And when I tried to explain it to it, the one guy was like, "Oh my God, I get it. I'm gonna have to change the review I have made for the game," which I thought was funny. So I'm gonna explain really what happened with that situation. So Bayonetta 1 came out and it was on all the good systems, right? It was on PS3 and it was on the Xbox, and later on it came out on the PC. So it was everywhere. And as popular as it was, they couldn't get funding to make Bayonetta 2. They went to everybody trying to get them to like, hey, sponsor Bayonetta 2 and we'll make it a console exclusive if you want to. And they were like, nah, it didn't sell good enough for us to do it. So they went to Sega, Sony. They went to Sony, Sony said nah. They went to Microsoft, Microsoft said nah, it's not our kind of thing. You know, we like Call of Duty. We want men. We don't want this Bayonetta chick. Shoo. So they had nobody. Nobody had picked them up. Except for, surprisingly, Nintendo. Sorry, my sugar's really high, so I'm super dehydrated. So we're going to have pauses and me drinking water. Okay. So Nintendo decided to pick them up, which was a shock to everyone given how sexual Bayonetta is and how family-friendly Nintendo is. So they were like, are you sure, Nintendo? Nintendo's like, yeah, we want that. So Bayonetta 2 was a console exclusive for Nintendo. And it was funny because they were like, while we were working on it, we kept trying to cover her up and tone her down her sexiness. And the president at the time, Iwata, was like, no, make her sexier. 3,000 times sexier, you know, show some more cleavage here, because as tight as her Link costume was, it was a lot sluttier than what they had originally designed. But then they're like, oh no, this is for Nintendo, family it up. And then Iwata was like, no, make it sexier, make it tighter. So, you know, it formed a really good relationship with Nintendo and Bayonetta folk. It was so good that the guys were like, hey, we're going to make this all the way to Bayonetta 5. We have the story planned out. We got everything done. Bayonetta 5 is going to be, like, already wrote itself. So Bayonetta 2 came out, and it was pretty good. You know, it had its ups and its downs, but overall, it was a good continue of the Bayonetta story. You know what? I should have went with the other garments to this one. Anyway, so Bayonetta 2 came out. People liked it. We were all like, Bayonetta 3. And the guy's like, of course, you know, we got Bayonetta 5, you know, in the works. We got the story going up to 5. You guys are set. So we were all waiting, and then there was no news. And then that's just kind of a joke because there's this channel on YouTube that has that, like with Bayonetta 3. They're like, there's no news because there was no news. They never said anything else about Bayonetta 3. We didn't even think there was going to be a Bayonetta 3, and then he was just pulling that chain like he likes to do. And then they came out at the Video Game Award and surprised everybody with a Bayonetta 3 trailer. And it was crazy. I mean, I made a video of when it came out screaming and crying and trying to guess what it's going to be about. I was not that far off. But we were like really excited about Bayonetta 3, and then that was it. It came out in like 2017 or something, and we ain't hear nothing about it. It was like silence. And then there was the no news channel. There's no news. We were all waiting for it to happen, but nothing happened. So time went on. People kept asking, when's Bayonetta 3 coming out? What's the thing? Every time Platinum came out with something like, we got new game information. We were like, oh, Bayonetta 3? And they were like, no. Astro Chain. Oh, yay. And then they would come up with something else. And we were like, oh, Bayonetta 3? Oh, no, it's not Bayonetta 3. And then finally, when around 19 happened, we get news from Platinum that one of the guys, the producers for Bayonetta, the one that's been on there since Bayonetta 1, was leaving Platinum. So everybody was in a panic, like, what does this mean for Bayonetta? Like, they're still working on Bayonetta, right? What's happening with Bayonetta 3? And they're like, don't worry, Bayonetta 3 is still coming out, even if he's not here with us. You're still going to get your Bayonetta 3. Just wait for the news. So we were all like, oh, well, all right. If they say we're going to get it, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So fast forward about a couple more years, and we finally get the trailer for Bayonetta 3 that came out like maybe a few months before its release. So we were all hyping stuff about it, but there was something off about that trailer. We didn't get to hear the voice acting. And we were like, what's going on with this Bayonetta? Not only does she look weird, different from our traditional Bayonetta that we know, but we're not hearing any voice acting. And that's usually something that they do when they do the voice acting. Like when they do trailers for Bayonetta, you know, she usually says something like, do you like my new haircut? Or smashing good time, you know, something dumb. And this is too stupid even for me. Alright, so we were kind of shocked, but it's like, alright, whatever, maybe something's going on about this voice actress, so that would give away the story, but, you know, whatever. And that's when we got the, like, trailer of her talking, and it was like, something about this Bayonetta seems off. Turns out it's a whole new Bayonetta. It's a whole new Bayonetta, which I did call. I want to say that from the beginning. I called that. I knew those clothes look way too traditional to be our Bayonetta. um, it wasn't her. It wasn't Helena. It was the other girl. I only know her as Prie from La Pucelle Tactics. I know Jennifer Hale. I had to think about it. I know Jennifer Hale does something, but that was it. So it was somebody different. And so everybody was kind of mad, asking what was what and what was going on with it. So I guess that was originally what I was trying to explain, but I got carried away with the story. I'm not very good at this. You know, hats off to those ladies who can paint their face, dig a pencil in their eyelid, like in their like tear ducts and paint, and then still stay on topic with the story. So what happened? So it all really, I think, came down to the development. When you play in the game, you'll see the story and stuff like that. The guy left. The guy who was working with the director since Bayonetta 1 had left Platinum, and that changed everything. Because when he left, I believe that the story got changed. They had so many plans of what to do all the way up to Bayonetta 5. And now all those plans were gone because his friend and the person who helped him make the game was gone from the company. He didn't work there anymore. They couldn't make it like they wanted to. So I think that Bayonetta 3 is a whole reflection of that, as kind of a, not like, you know how they say that this is a love story to the fans? I think it's a love story to the plans that were made but were changed. I think that's why it took so long to come out, because they had to redo everything. So that's why you have all the different Bayonettas that are in here, because these are all, like, I believe that these are all the possibilities of all the Bayonettas that could have been, all the stories that could have been, and they're all gone now. They can't be made. That's why like in the game at the ending, they had an infinite amount of Bayonettas from infinite worlds, and then they all died. So that's what happened. All the possible Bayonettas that could have been made, that were designed to be made, all died when the guy left, and they couldn't create the Bayonetta they wanted to. This guy was also, they were actual friends. So that's why in the game, John kept dying in every single world. My friend, the other half of my team, is gone. So John is the other half of Bayonetta's team, so she was gone too. So that was it. So every time a possible Bayonetta comes, his partner's gone. So that. The Sorry, I'm trying to get my words together and focus on this. Damn. So Jean is dead, partner's gone. This is what caused the problem with the voice actor. At least this is what I think happened because it makes the most sense. Not only would Helena have to voice act all the various Bayonettas that were in the game, but also the main Bayonetta that's here. I think when they got Jennifer for it, it was okay because that would have been what they're calling the strong Cereza, brave Cereza. So it would have been a different Bayonetta anyway, which lines up what people were saying during the leaked information that they had for that. Like, she said that she wanted to get a decent living wage for it, and it's a lot of work to voice act. And I think that makes sense given the fact that she would have to voice act all the Bayonettas across the worlds, and not just one Bayonetta like she did before. Now, each one of these Bayonettas had a different quirk, a different talking style, and different moves and attacks. So not only would she have to voice act the regular Bayonetta, but also the different Bayonettas across their cutscene sounds, their battle sounds, the action sounds, and standard regular ones, and I think I said cutscenes, all of that. So that's multiple versions of herself that she would have to do, multiple accents she would have to do, and multiple characters across there that she would have to do, which is why she wanted more money for it. But then when you factor in the fact that this was going to be the last one that would have that Bayonetta, she wouldn't be able to voice act Bayonetta anymore because they were moving on from that, because that's pretty much the statement of the game. All the Bayonettas that we know from, like, all of our Bayonettas, our Cerezas are dead. They're not coming back. They're gone because his partner's gone. He can't create Bayonetta, or doesn't want to create Bayonetta without him. So Bayonetta is dead in that sense, but the name in the series lives on through the new character Viola. So Viola is going to be Bayonetta from now on, and that's a totally different character, a totally different voice actor. So that means that the reason why she wanted to get paid more money is because this was going to be her last job with it. And although she was saying she was going to break NDA by saying the conflict, she didn't want to ruin the story by saying, this is going to be my last time voice acting Bayonetta, or I won't be able to voice act Bayonetta anymore, which would spoil the whole game if she said that. So I think that the reason why she didn't go and tell all of the truth and all of the details is that, yeah, she didn't care about the NDA enough to talk about what had happened, but she cared enough about the game not to spoil the whole game. So, because, if she did that, there's no way anybody would ever hire her again if she just spilled out the whole ending of the game. Like, I can't voice act her anymore because she's going to die and they're removing the Cereza from the series. So I want to get paid what I, like the money I should get paid, since it's going to be the last time, and they should pay me more for it given all the time that I spent developing the character and voice acting her. Which is what I think she wanted to say and what wanted to happen, but she couldn't say that without ruining the entire game. So it's like, well, shit. It's actually a really beautiful game. And then it also kind of goes in with the what's that guy's name? The director? What he said about wanting to hire her for a cameo instead. Because, at the final boss, when Cereza's getting her butt kicked, the witch without memories and the the legendary witch shows up. So that would have been like crying tears. Oh my god, it's Helena here voice acting with, Jennifer, which would have been pretty dang neat if you ask me. But that didn't happen because they were only gonna pay her $4,000 for just the cameo there, which I guess is cool. But if they did pay her for that, they would have to pay her for the skins and stuff, because you get to switch and play as the witch without memories and as the legendary witch. So she still would have got paid for doing those extra characters. So yeah, that's pretty much it about Bayonetta. Like, her, it was a really good game. when you know the backstory of it, that this was a goodbye letter because the person left. So our Bayonetta is gone, Cereza is gone, but Bayonetta lives on as Viola. And you know what? As hilarious as this is going, it's not really going as well as I had hoped it would. I don't know what possessed me to think I could cram this on here. And now that I just said that, I got like all the will to really make it happen. Also, her feet are down here. But if it's like a Umbran witch, right? Shouldn't it be taller than normal? So having feet down there should be fine. But no, let's keep on keeping on. I'm sorry. I really felt like I had to get that off my chest. I've been thinking about that forever. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna stop this because I'm a complete lunatic and I'll deal with it later. But I want to do something Bayonetta-y. So I'm going to see Bayonetta witch with no name, Bayonetta dress. A dress is easier to put on than a bodysuit. Yeah, I ain't feel that at all. Alright, so anybody watching just for the explanation, that's it. This is just me being silly now. Man, I cannot wait till we get double-sided mesh in Second Life. Have a good hat. Oh. Which just went away. This was like one of my favorite dresses in this game. I thought about making it for myself in real life, but I don't know if I got the right kind of shoulders for it. Yeah, this is important because we aren't going to do that. I got a whole new respect for those ladies who tell horrible horror stories and cut people, like taking pictures. Like, what do? They make stories, tell stories, and do makeup at the same time. Like it's nothing. I'm like, oh, you just talking and putting on makeup. How hard can that be? Very hard, apparently. Oh man. I guess we keep talking about Bayonetta 3. I don't know how I felt about it. It was alright, I guess. After realizing what it's about, then it became pretty sad. But I didn't really like Viola that much. I didn't really like the whole drawn out, but you're my, like, we got it. Like, I guessed that from the trailer. Like, kind of hard not to. I just didn't like that whole drawn out thing. Klutz. You have a really good speaking voice and you're not full. I'm not? I thought I was. That's very kind of you, though. And you know what's dunking up this whole thing is this. It's a view. I wonder. There's a button that's in here that's checked. That shouldn't be checked. I remember it was on here and it's like show weight paint. And that's what's happening right now. There we go. Turn that off. Texture solid. Weird. Well, thanks for listening. I'm glad y'all you stayed for the rant. I've been thinking about that for a long time and I wanted to talk about it, but the video I had before was like all edited with clips and footage and clips and stuff like that made it look very well thought out of and professional, and it was on YouTube for exactly 5 minutes before I got this was taken down by Nintendo of America, Capcom. It's taken down by Nintendo of America and Platinum Games, and I was like, oh, but, oh. And I can't afford to get any more strikes on my account, especially over something stupid like that. So I took it down, and then I had another video where I was explaining how to rip Bayonetta 3 assets, and they were like, hey. Yeah, Nintendo was not playing, and they gave me a second warning, and they were like, hey, Nintendo of America said no. And they're like, one more warning. Like, I'm glad that their YouTube is being a little more nice about this, because they would have normally just shut down your account. And they were like, one more warning, and you're going to get a strike if you can't abide by the community rules. And I'm like, okay, I'll be good. So I had to take it down, and I hate it because we were all like, how does they do this with Bayonetta 3? And I'm like, oh. And then does anybody know how to get the models from the animations from Bayonetta 3? And I'm like, oh. So I had to write it out in text how it was done. And that was that, and I was kind of sad about it because I'm like, I want to make videos. It's so much more fun than text, but more people can understand it because they translate the text into English. And I'm like, I guess it's okay. It just sucks when people use your stuff and they don't give you credit for it. This guy was using it and he's like, credit goes to the board and the community. I'm like, but you mean me? The one who sat here all night, day one, compiling this ish. Now, granted, I might not have been the one who wrote the script, but I was helping out when they were trying to figure out what was going on, and compiled it, and archived it, and ripped it. These rips that you're currently using, good sir. These are my rips. Alright, I'm gonna leave as soon as I get this something Bayonetta on this Reddit. That's all. I actually put this on a cat before. Much bigger cat. This was in the middle, right? So, the Animal Crossing project is going pretty good. I just ran into a small snag, and I'm hoping that Gypsy can help me out with this. I really got to start paying that man something. And it also doesn't help that I think my cats threw up on my computer. Like, they threw up on my keyboard, and even though I cleaned it, it still feels a little sticky. So my tab button ain't working the way it should. Her butt is all the way up there. I don't know. There was kind of like more I didn't like about Bayonetta 3 than there is more than I did like about it. Um, I like the message of what it is, like what I just said about not being able to create without you, but carrying on because we're contractually obligated to keep on making Bayonetta games. I didn't like Viola at all. Almost nothing, anything that she was in, I just was like, ugh, cringe. I didn't like how all of a sudden Luca is a werewolf fox thing, and they didn't really explain that at all. It just happened, and it's like, okay, we're gonna explain that because like in Bayonetta 2, Luca gained the ability to see the other world, like the world that witches and stuff walk at. And that's because he went to Rodin and got this monocle that allowed him to see the other world. So, they explained how all of a sudden he could see Bayonetta when she was in witch mode and not in her you can see me human mode. But they didn't do that in this one. It's just like Luca's a werewolf. Okay, how? He's always been a werewolf, at least in this world. And y'all gonna explain that? Nah. And apparently it's genetic because what's her face? Viola has the ability to be some sort of beast thing too. So it's like, alright, so she got that from her daddy. But how? They never said he was anything other than this world's Spider-Man. And not a good one at that either. How was Cheshire made? Was he always a Spectre thing? But I'm assuming not, because he looks like the Cheshire that Rosa made for Cereza when she was little. Which story I absolutely love about that. Because Jean is Bayonetta's best friend. They're both Umbran witches. Jean's mom is the former head of the Umbran witches, so she was like the head bitch, stylish and fashionable all around. So of course her daughter was gonna be like that as well, and that's why Jean is so fashionable. So when they were little, Jean's mom gave her a Persian cat a super white, very fluffy, expensive toy. And Cereza wanted one, but because her mom was deemed a traitor and forced into imprisonment, she couldn't exactly go and buy her daughter a fancy doll like, Jean has. So what she did instead was, using the materials that were inside of her cell, she made Bayonetta a Cheshire cat, which was known as the ultimate witch cat, a witch's cat. So that's why hers is all busted up and broken looking, because her mom made it out of scraps and gave it to her. But to little Cereza, that was her most precious thing in the world. She loved it. So Cheshire only looks like that because Rosa made it out of the materials that she had. So that's not what a Cheshire looks like. So it makes me wonder if in this one, when Bayonetta had gave birth to Viola, did she create Cheshire to be like its guardian, her guardian? So that's what I think about that, or wonder about it. Alright, so got the dress on. Chest, I think it's a little far out. But there is a mini game in there that I didn't play, and that's supposed to explain it and give you a secret, what's it called? Secret costume. And I was supposed to play it, but I never got around to it, and I was supposed to watch it, and I definitely didn't get around to doing it. So that is sadness. Okay, so I got my hat. I got my hat. I got my thing on. I feel like I'm supposed to have some ribbons back there, but this is good enough. Texture. You can see what she looks like with it. That's so cute. Let me see if I can get some textures. No, it wouldn't be here. It would be not in here either. Output. Desktop. My neighbor always slams her door as loud as the delivery people slam their door. So I always think that it's a delivery coming, and then it's like, no, that's the neighbor. It should be converted. And I lost it. Well, wait, let's see. Nope. Maybe in the dump. I wish for you as I call down my name. Is for the normal tops. Oh yeah, wait, I forgot. I moved it. I'm not good with this stuff. Alright, I had animal textures, and this is a rabbit, and number 5. Let's see what number 5 is. It's, I know this one. It's not Pippi. Like, every time I see her name, Gabby, that's her name. I was like, every time I see her name, it just goes away. One thing I hate about the importer is that it where's her eyes? Looking cute. It rotated them all 90 degrees, and this, I hate it. Why does it be all black like this though? Oh well, we could just have this then. So cute. Now I have to like rig this and put this in Second Life and make it a thing. But that's something for another time. I just needed a little Bayonetta stuff on here while I talk about Bayonetta. Alright, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. It's been bothering me for a while. And nobody's here. Oh well. I needed to get that off my chest. I'll be back with something Second Life related that you guys would like. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I gotta get back to seriously working.